Welcome to the deepest, darkest corners of your home, the basement. Here are 12 of the creepiest basement stories that will make you think twice before heading down there. Number 1, the whispering walls. This basement has always felt off, but it wasn't until one night when a tenant went down to do laundry that they heard it. Whispers. Soft at first, like a distant conversation, until they were coming from the walls themselves, getting louder and closer. They ran out, but the whispers continued for days after, even when no one was near the basement. No one ever went down there again. Number 2, the mysterious door. A family had lived in their house for years, but no one had ever noticed the door. Hidden behind boxes in the corner of the basement, it was old and rusted, like it hadn't been touched in decades. When they opened it, a freezing wind rushed out. The door revealed a small dark room, filled with strange old relics and symbols. They quickly closed it, but from that day on, the air in the basement always felt cold. Number 3, the staring eyes. One night, a man went down into his basement to grab something from storage. As he walked past the old furniture, he felt something watching him. He turned around, but there was no one there. Then he saw it. Eyes staring at him from the shadows. They blinked. They moved. He ran upstairs and locked the door. The next day the eyes were gone, but the strange feeling in the basement never left. Number 4, the disappearing tool. A man was fixing a leaky pipe in his basement. He laid his wrench down on the workbench and went upstairs for a moment. When he returned, the wrench was gone, vanished without a trace. Days later it happened again, but this time the wrench reappeared in a completely different spot, covered in dirt, as if it had been buried. Number 5, the sound of steps. One quiet night, a young woman heard footsteps coming from the basement. She lived alone, so she assumed it was just her imagination. But the footsteps got louder, and they sounded like someone walking up the stairs. She froze, her heart racing. But when she opened the basement door, nothing was there. She moved out the next week, and the footsteps never stopped, echoing through the house, even after she left. Number 6, the basement window. A family had an old house with a small basement window at ground level. One evening, while watching TV, they noticed someone standing outside the window, staring inside. The figure was gone before they could even react. The next day they checked the window, only to find muddy handprints pressed against the glass, as if someone had been trying to get inside. Number 7, the flickering lights. It was an old house with dim lighting in the basement. Every time the lights flickered, strange shadows would move across the walls. At first it was subtle, just a shifting silhouette. But then the shadows began to take shape, moving toward the person standing there. They hurried upstairs, but the flickering lights never stopped, and neither did the strange shapes that moved in the darkness. Number 8, the hidden stairs. A man was cleaning out his basement when he discovered a hidden staircase behind a stack of old boxes. Intrigued, he descended. The stairs led deeper into the ground, and the further he went, the colder it became. He never reached the bottom. When the police arrived, all they found were his muddy footprints leading down the stairs. And then, stopping. Number 9, the shadow in the corner. A young man noticed a dark shape in the corner of his basement. At first he thought it was a trick of the light, but when he returned the next day, the shadow had grown larger. It moved, and it wasn't his shadow. He ran out, but the shadow remained, lingering, as if waiting for him to return. Number 10, the creaking floorboards. It's the usual sound in an old basement, the creak of the floorboards. But one night a man heard the creaks, and then they began to follow him. Step by step, the noise echoed back and forth as if someone else was walking behind him. The creaking never stopped, and neither did the footsteps. Number 11, the basement door that locked itself. A family had a basement with an old wooden door that would often slam shut on its own. One evening, as the family sat upstairs, they heard the door slam, followed by the sound of the lock clicking into place. When they checked the door, it was locked from the inside, but no one was in there. And finally, number 12, the basement cry. A woman lived alone in an old house, but every night she heard a faint cry from the basement. She thought it was just an animal, until one night she went down to check. The crying stopped, and then she heard it, a voice calling her name from the darkness. No one was ever found, but the cries continued for weeks after. Do you still feel safe going down to the basement? Think again. Stay cautious, and remember, there are things hiding in the dark that don't want to be found.